Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel with a new video about World of Tanks. Today I will comment a replay of my Tortoise on El Halluh. The Tortoise is a tier 9 British tank destroyer. It's a very efficient tank destroyer by the way, and I am playing on El Halluh, which is quite a good map for this tank actually, because most of the time a lot of action will happen in A1, B1, A2, B2, top left corner, and I can be there in time to see some action. And you know, the British tank destroyer line is very special because you will have a lot of changes of gameplay throughout the line from tier 2 to tier 10, but the most radical change will happen at tier 5 with the 82. The 82 is heavily armored, but it's particularly slow, and from this tier, from this 82 at tier 5 to the Tortoise at tier 9, you will have to be at the right place at the right moment, or else you will miss the battle. Either because you will be too slow to catch up with your teammates, who will be either crushing the opponent or crushed by the opponent, or the battle might happen on the opposite side of the battlefield. So for every map of the game you will have to learn which position you can reach quite early and in which you would be useful. So in El Halluh, it's pretty easy. Top left corner, A1, B1, A2, B2, because most of the action will take place there normally, and it usually takes a while to, let's say, solve the situation. So you can go there early in the Tortoise, and you know that you will be useful, most of the time. So let's talk a bit about the Tortoise itself. It's an excellent tank because it has an amazing damage per minute value. It's only surpassed by some rare weird artilleries, which will never do their full damage potential. But with the Tortoise, if you are at the right place at the right moment, you will dish out some insane damage just because you reload fast and you'll have a decent alpha. The gun does not only give you a very good rate of fire, it's also accurate, it aims really fast, and you'll have a decent arc of fire towards the left and right for a tank destroyer. So even if you don't have a turret, you can still angle your tank if you need. And why is that important? Well, as you can see here, I am peeking around this corner, but my biggest weak spot, which is the commander's hatch, as you all know about, is hidden, and they only see the left part of my tank, and even if it's not perfectly armored, enemies don't really know where to shoot, and usually they just bounce. So I already explained the first rule of any slow tank. It's to have the intuition to be at the right place at the right moment. So most of the time it's a position that will cover the main choke point of the battlefield. And the second rule is to hide your commander's hatch as often as you can, just because it will make you survive much longer and people will not know where to shoot if you're hiding this massive weak spot. And the longer you survive in the Tortoise, the more damage you will deal with the insane gun. I mean, you reload so fast you can punish people pretty heavily for any mistake that they are committing. And you're so accurate that if they are showing even a slight portion of weak armor, you will be able to penetrate it over and over, just because you can, and if you miss once in a while, it doesn't matter, you will reload really fast. So you can try and take shots, like in this case I was trying to go for the commander's cupola because I didn't have the flat frontal armor. It's alright, I missed, I don't care. I mean, I will reload in such a short amount of time. Also, your insane rate of fire will allow you to permanently track opponents, so you can pick them apart, one shell at a time, or just to track them for the rest of your team, like this E75. I mean, if my ally didn't kill him immediately, I would have time to plant another one. A lot of the Tortoise games will be everything or nothing, like you're in the correct position and you will punish everyone in the opponent team, or you will just miss the battle and do absolutely nothing, and it's not necessarily your fault because sometimes, the metagame on the Xbox is it's so chaotic, you can't expect the enemies to do the textbook strategy. So sometimes you will simply miss the battle because you had the intuition that it would take place in another place of the battlefield. But don't worry, you will have time to learn all of this because the gameplay is very similar starting from the 82 at tier 5. So, this battle isn't going really well for us, although it's not terrible either. We are behind by 2 tanks, but we have still a good positioning over the battlefield, because we have medium and heavy tank on the right part to protect or at least to slow down the enemies on the other side, and we are covering this uh, massive choke point on the battlefield. So for now, even if we are behind by 2 tanks, it's not the end of the world. The worst that could happen to us at the moment would be some people flanking us from E and F lines, but it actually happened and our team was pretty reactive. Our teammates read the minimap, saw those opponents and took care of them, which is, I wouldn't say unusual, but at least I can thank my team for that. It doesn't happen all the time, and when your team is aware of the global situation, it's just perfect because you can simply do your job and be more efficient. So now I am tempted to move up and dish out some additional damage because we have some close enemies. But the heavy tank in H7, H6, H7 is in deep trouble. And he was the last one between the enemies and our base, which means that we have to go back and defend. And it's the right thing to do, but it's frustrating because the Tortoise is so slow that traveling a long distance is always long, and you know that you won't be able to do anything during that time, but it's just the right thing to do. So you turn around and then you accelerate in the direction of your destination, and you move slowly and you keep moving slowly, and you look at your minimap, because let's be honest, you'll have all the time in the world to look at it, and if you don't, you might be surprised by light or medium tank in your back. So you'll have absolutely no excuse not to look at your minimap during this very long time. And yes, I know you could fall asleep or watch a movie meanwhile you're reaching your destination, but you'll have to stay focused. And as you can see, the situation has reversed. Now we are leading by 1 tank, and the only advantage the enemy has over us is the possibility to capture our base because they are closer than our base than us from their base. And since we are going back to defend, we are going to negate this advantage. So the situation is looking rather nice at the moment. By the way, a massive thank you to our light tank driver, because at this stage of the game it's really tempting to hunt the enemy artillery, but he knew that we needed to defend the base, and he was willing to take risks to spot the enemy and to make sure that we would be in position to hurt them and not be surprised by a sneaky opponent. So thank you to Highbury Dreams, because you did the right thing. And now it's mop up time. And since we have the numerical advantage, the hit pool advantage, the position advantage, even if they have a super skilled driver, there's no way they can recover from their loss. So to summarize this tank, you are slow, so you'll have to learn where you need to be in advance. You'll have to anticipate the movement of your opponent and use the sluggish speed and maneuverability of this tank at your advantage to look more often at your minimap and anticipate the enemy movements. And second of all, if you want to take advantage of your insane rate of fire and damage per minute, you'll have to stay alive, and for this, make sure you hide your commander's hatch. You can hide behind rocks, houses, whatever hard cover you can find, but this will be the key to your survival. And that will be all for today's video. That's a victory. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.